Today has been today when Mikel Arteta is going to hate to address the presser towards the game of Arsenal versus PSV. It's now 7 years since they last played in the Champions League, and they are returning to obviously try and see whether they can obviously make a very huge command into the Champions League. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. Hope you're really having a fantastic evening, and this is the YouTube channel that brings you your latest news and information as far as all your football teams are really concerned, apart from Man United. And this is where we obviously start up and obviously get you the best. If you want to get content about Manchester United, it's all about the United Matters channel, and that's where we always, and this time around we are obviously trying to do lots of things concerning Arsenal and very many other teams. Champions League games are still going on. When they are done, I'm obviously going to come in through and obviously tell you the results on how they've gone ahead to obviously go, because this is another huge day for us to discuss something concerning Arsenal and what Mikel Arteta is going to hate to say about all his players and this side of PSV. And he's going to hate obviously talk about a certain player known as Lozano, who plays for PSV, and is going to hate obviously have he say about the Dangerman for that side of PSV. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And Rokan David is my name. Let's start it off with what Arteta commenced with. First and foremost, the first question posed to Mikel Arteta was how he feels ahead of his first Champions League game as an Arsenal manager. Arteta said, "Proud and excited. It's been a long time for the club since we have been in the competition, and obviously it's the first time for me as a manager, so I'm really looking forward to do it." Now, for Mikel Arteta, it's his very first time to really be a manager into the Champions League. That is it. But when it comes to him as a player, he was really part of the Arsenal side that I think last played in the Champions League. You know, though he had already left, but he really played in the Champions League ever since Arsene Wenger signed him as a player of Arsenal and made him the captain for the club of Arsenal. So Arteta is obviously trying to really let us know that this is one of the things that are really going down his side very well, and obviously a dream of every manager to fulfill, and Arteta is having all his dreams come true by doing the needful to be the manager of Arsenal in this era when they've gone ahead to get back to the Champions League. And guys, it's really surprising that a proven manager like Unai Emery, who had taken his team like Villarreal and very many other teams into the La Liga in the Champions League, they brought him at Arsenal and things never worked out. And he never even spent 2 years. The first season, 2017-2018, he was at Arsenal. And then that season of 2019-2020 found him being sacked by the side of Arsenal, and he never obviously ended there. In December, he was sacked. Fred Ljungberg took charge, and that's when Mikel Arteta came in through to do the needful for the club of Arsenal. And it shows you how lucky Arteta is. And guys, the world is all about luck. The world is all about luck and hard work. You combine the two, there is no way you cannot really be termed as a winner onto this planet Earth. Now, Arteta, on how fired up Arsenal players are, he has gone ahead and told us that, yes, we've been chasing it and fighting for it, and now we've got it. We have to make the most out of it. It starts at home, and I'm sure our supporters are going to be really excited about it. And it's about managing that and enjoying the challenge. That's what Arteta is going to hate to say about this side of Arsenal. And if at all you know Mikel Arteta, he's a man of his word, and he never at any point eats his words. Obviously, the players of Arsenal are very excited to see to it that they are back into the Champions League. And them returning to the Champions League is obviously a very huge signal to everyone who really downplayed the efforts of Arsenal as a team, because they are a team that has always gone ahead to obviously put in efforts after efforts as far as the Champions League is concerned. And when you look at the squad that Arsenal is really having, it's really one of the best in Europe. And they've gone ahead to obviously break their record by signing one of the biggest players into that side known as Declan Rice, who was going to head to fit into that side like a glove. And when you look at the players of Arsenal, they are telling us that they are ready for the challenge. And I really believe that these players are ready for the challenge because Arteta has gone ahead to prepare them very well for the job, and I know they are going to get this job done and dusted in the nick of time. And they are the favorites to win this beautiful game of football because Arsenal last played them in the Champions League in 2002-2003 season, and in the UEFA Europa League they played last season. Now, Arteta was again asked about the injury progress of Gabriel Martinelli, and this is what he had to say about the injury progress of Gabriel Martinelli. He said he felt something in his hamstring and we need to do some further tests to assess if there is any big damage or not, but he will be out for tomorrow's game, that's for sure. So, as I told you that Gabriel Martinelli is not part of the team of Arsenal that is going to play part into their game of PSV, he is obviously confirmed by the manager. Gabriel Martinelli is really out. But as I told you in the match preview, there is nothing that Arsenal is going to miss about this player because Arsenal has already gone ahead to have 3 more players into that position. That is Leandro Trossard, there is Reece Nelson, Emily Smith-Rowe can play that side. And in the preseason, we saw Mikel Arteta play Edin Ketia on the left attacking side of the midfield, and it looks like he wants to give him more game time at the side of Arsenal. So Gabriel Martinelli is out, and we are waiting to see whether on Friday Arteta will give us an important update as far as Gabriel Martinelli to play against Tottenham Hotspur is really concerned. If he returns early enough, that will be really a miracle, but I think he's going to be out for like 2 weeks because that muscle or muscular injury hamstring just takes like 2 weeks to really get done or get cured. If at all he doesn't heal, that means he's going to be having a very severe muscular injury. That is the player known as Gabriel Martinelli for you. Now, he was also asked about Fabio Vieira and how he felt when he started the game of Everton. He said, I said many times that I haven't played Fabio enough. He hadn't had enough room in the team with competitions that we play to participate more. But every day we see the talent that he's got and what he can bring to the team. He was really happy when he started against Everton. And obviously Fabio Vieira, I tip him to really have a goal in the game of PSV, but I don't see him starting. I don't see Fabio Vieira starting. All I see starting is one player, that is Kai Havertz, getting back in the midfield to obviously play into that game. And we all knew why Kai Havertz was not played into that game. It was not because that he had been putting in bang average performances, right, in the first 4 games that Arsenal really played this season, but because the manager knows that he needs players with Champions League experience into the games they are going to play. So that's why you see to it that the manager has found himself in a position of really deciding to play the man of a caliber of Fabio Vieira and obviously rest the player, that is Kai Havertz. The same thing has been done to David Raya. I know David Raya really started, but I believe it's going to be a different kind of player altogether, starting the side of Arsenal. That is Mikel Arteta and his tactics for you as far as this game of football is really concerned. Then we go to Arsenal on juggling the Premier League and USL, keeping players happy. Arteta had the following to say: that to be happy, they have to play and they have to feel important. They have to feel valued and they have to feel that we trust them. It's the only way to do it. I'll try to do that in the best way possible. That is it. So I think Arteta has a squad to juggle, because when you look at the number of players he's really having, he almost has 2 players in every position that can obviously really go ahead and obviously compete at a level that most of you have always wanted Arsenal to compete at. Let me give you an example. Like, for example, in goal, it's David Raya. Tussling it out with Ramsdale. Right back, Cedric Soares, Tomiyasu, which other player? Ben White, Julian Timber. When you look at the left back, there is Zinchenko, there is Tomiyasu, there is Jakub Kivio, there is Julian Timber, though he's injured. In the central defense, he has Saliba, Ben White, and Julian Timber. Then on the left side of central defense, there is Jakub Kivio and the player called Gabriel Magalhaes. Even Tomiyasu can be played as a right back because you've seen him play for the team of. We've seen him play for his national team in the central defense, meaning that he's really good to play that side. That is the player of a caliber of Tomiyasu. In the central defense midfield area, that is the CDM, Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, El Nini, and Jorginho. Then other central midfielders, Martin Odegaard, Kai Havertz, Emily Smith-Rowe, Leandro Trossard can also play in the midfield. There is Emily Smith-Rowe, there is Fabio Vieira. So he's really having a variety of players to start. Left forward, Martinelli, Trossard, Reece Nelson, Emily Smith-Rowe. Forwards, Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, and Edin Ketia. The only position that Arteta is lacking depth in it is only the right attacking side of the midfield where Bukayo Saka plays. And I think it's one of the positions that Arteta is going to address very soon when it obviously goes to the January transfer window or the summer transfer window, because he needs a player to come in through and obviously offer them something better or equal to Bukayo Saka. If at all Bukayo Saka is playing like that without a competitor, how is he going to be playing if at all he's having a competitor? I think he's going to be playing better and better and better. That is it, coming in from Mikel Arteta. Now, he was asked about the previous moments of Arsenal in the UCL, and Arteta had the following to say. He said, "Every time I watched it and we weren't there, I felt it. I think you keep the pressure on yourself. This club has to be in the Champions League. When I have a job, when I have that job that I have the responsibility to try to bring the club to the biggest stages. And obviously the biggest stage for any club is the Champions League. That is known. And I think the other that's going to overtake the Champions League is going to be the Club World Cup that's going to be played every 4 years. So we are having some more games coming in through, I think, is it 2024, 2025, being planned by FIFA. Obviously, it's going to come in through and obviously take us to the next level as the game of football. But for Arteta, he's obviously talking about the previous moments. And what are the previous moments? When he sat down and obviously went through the galleries of Arsenal when they played in the Champions League final in 2006 and lost to Barcelona, when even Arteta was in that Arsenal side that used to play in the Champions League, he really felt like there was something missing and he was not doing his particular job. And he's just excited for lots of things, because this was the target of Arsenal last season. Last season, they wanted to qualify for the Champions League, and they obviously went ahead to qualify. That is really a very huge plus for Mikel Arteta, Edu, the board of Arsenal, the ownership of Arsenal, to get Arsenal to where they're supposed to be. You know, Arsenal is meant for the Champions League. Manchester United for the Champions League. Chelsea, Liverpool are meant for the Champions League. Man City has just gone ahead to start really making a track record. But these four teams have gone ahead to tell you about are traditional teams. Manchester United, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea, they are meant for the Champions League. They've gone ahead to really get a lot of history in the Champions League. And Arsenal is the only team that has not gone ahead to lift the Champions League. And I believe that under Mikel Arteta and how he's obviously building up his squad, he'll win the Champions League, because even Man City had to take all those years to lift it the recently concluded season. So it shows you that Arteta is obviously doing all what is being requested and required from him to take on this side and obviously take it to the next level. That is Mikel Arteta for you, and he's obviously doing the needful to let us know about the game of Arsenal versus PSV tomorrow at the Emirates. Now, Arteta on if he's confident of progressing from the group. This was a very huge question, and guess what he said? That's what we want to do, but this is football, and tomorrow we are going to play against a really good team. They haven't lost a game this season, and they have won the majority of them, and they are used to winning. Now, I think Arteta is going to hate to give respect to just the teams. I really understand. It's all about respecting these teams, but we all know the levels between Arsenal and PSV. They're really huge. They are not marginal. They are not marginal. The levels are really huge, and they cannot obviously be anywhere near each other. If at all PSV had Sangare, Xavi Simons, Madueke, and Cody Gakpo, he will understand that they really have a very good squad. But that's not one of the things that they're really having. They changed the manager. Ruud van Nistelrooy going ahead to build a very good step for them, and the players have been sold. That is it. So after all those players have been sold from PSV and even, they're really a little bit weak. And Arsenal is going to find it easy, for me, like a knife through butter, to obviously score against them. And the last time they played at the Emirates, Arteta had to bench some players. But this time, Arteta is going full force. All the players are going to be available, and is going to go full force to obviously win this game of football, because it matters. For Arsenal to obviously make a very huge statement in the Champions League, they need to win all their games at home. Win against Sevilla, win against PSV, and win against Rennes. And the first team for them to play is against their first game to play is against PSV, and they are really calling in for a win for that side. Then Arteta, on the importance of senior players who have played in the competition before, he said it's great to have that mixture and the excitement it creates of playing for the first time. I sense it. We have players that have played in it for many years, and some of them have won it. So, talking about these players that are really senior and are going to hate to win the trophy, obviously, it's Kai Havertz and Jorginho who have gone ahead to win this trophy. And that's what Arteta was talking about, that we are having those who have gone ahead to play in this competition, and others have gone ahead to really win these competitions. And those that have gone ahead to play in this competition and won it, Gabriel Jesus is among, Zinchenko is among. So, Jorginho and Kai Havertz were the ones who won it, I think, in 2021 with Chelsea, as they beat Man City on the final by 1 goal to nil. A line-breaking pass from the middle of the park by Mason Mount that found Kai Havertz, and Kai Havertz just found himself putting that ball easily past the goalkeeper of Man City, and it really counted. So that is it, that he had obviously to explain that he needs to mix those with the experience in the Champions League and those that are never going to have to play in the Champions League before. Some of the players at Arsenal that have never gone ahead to play in the Champions League before: Ramsdale, Benny White, Gabriel Magalhaes, Saliba, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, Leandro Trossard, Edin Nketiah. Very many of the starting 11 of Arsenal have never played in the Champions League. But it shows you the mixture that manager really made to see to it that he really has these players on to do the needful for the club of Arsenal. So that is some good business coming in from Arsenal, and some good question from the manager. Sorry, from the media being answered by the manager. Now we are having Arteta on Arsenal's journey to the Champions League. He said, I think it's a learning process. When you are looking to achieve, you have to take some lessons from that. I think we did that, and we got better as a team, and we did the right things as well to improve the squad. Now we are here. Obviously, Arsenal are not where they are by mistake. They've gone ahead to obviously prove to very many people that they can obviously get things right and really rectify the mistakes they've gone ahead to do. Some of the mistakes that Arsenal really did were obviously not to win the Premier League, and coming to the Champions League might really act as a boost to see either they come in through and obviously win it. So everything has been really laid well by Mikel Arteta, and I think Arsenal is at a different level altogether, depending on what we have always been seeing from the side of Arsenal. Then he was asked about the danger man of PSV known as Lozano, and this was his reaction. Every player is dangerous at this level. Tomorrow we will have a lot of things that we have to control, but I think the main thing is that we focus on ourselves and play at the level that we have to play to earn the right to win. That is Mikel Arteta for you. Every player is dangerous. It's not only Lozano, but even other players are dangerous for the club of Arsenal. Who is this Lozano guy that is being talked about? Lozano is a Mexican player, 28 years of age. He has at PSV, and this season is going to hate to play one game, right? He has going to hate to play one game for PSV this season, and he has going to hate to score 0 goals. But Lozano is a very, very good player. He plays as a winger, and he's one of those players that PSV are really looking at to obviously face Arsenal. You saw him at the World Cup. He was obviously trying to obviously cause threat at Arsenal. At every team they played, like, I think, was it Argentina and very many others, but obviously Arsenal will curb up with him. Lastly, he was asked about Ramsdale and David Raya on their styles of play and ball distribution. He said the following: on the stylistic differences between Ramsdale and David Raya, it's not something I want to get into. I don't speak about how different Eddie is to Martinelli or Reis. All to race. Every player has a different personality and different characteristics at the club of Arsenal. But we all know the difference is that David Raya is a better ball distributor than the player who he formed in at the club of Arsenal, that is Aaron Ramsdale. And for Aaron Ramsdale, he's a better shot stopper to come in through and obviously stop those balls, but he's also not worse with his ball at his feet. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're already watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. That's what we had for you today, and see you in the next hour. Newcastle and AC Milan 0-0 with 1 minute plus the added time to go.